Just press record. Just press record. They all crafted exactly like you, and they will appreciate the video rather than judging me. All right. You see, that's the self-talk that I had to go through to get to press record, people. All right. I'm going to be doing the challenge from Seven Plaza and Crafting by Tony for ABC April 2026 with a hashtag in front. And if this day goes by, then this idea goes by. And I've been aiming since A to start recording, and we're already on E. So E for ever expanding journal. Now, in my world, nothing goes as they do for the other YouTube videos. There's a lot of behind the scenes things that you are not seeing. So I'm rather going to be sharing an idea maybe rather than a complete project. So I thought I'd share the idea, I'd sketch it out for you, and then I will record until all my challenges here brings me to a stop, such as I have a ring light on a power bank and my phone is on 29%. I do have that on a power bank as well, and see if how far we can get. So rather going to share the idea than the actual project, because it takes me a lot longer than what I would probably be able to record. All right. My idea is to create a journal. I'm going to be doing it in big, but for today's project, I'll be doing it in small. So to just allow myself the time to do it, to get as far as possible, and might not even get to any type of decorating. All right. So my idea is to create a front cover. So call that front cover. All right. And then and then the back cover. All right. And then I want to create a concertina fold or an accordion fold. And for Seven Plaza, a harmonica fold, a mondvletjie. Just as an attribute, I do understand where her confusion comes from, because whenever a accordion is used in our traditional music, they always play a harmonica with it, so it sort of goes hand in hand. Right. So my idea is right at the end. So I'm going to be folding a concertina fold, and then right at the end, I'm going to attach that fold with a clip, like a binder clip, to the back cover. So if I want to expand the journal, then I can just add another concertina fold in there and expand the journal. And another one until, endlessly, until it's as big as you want the journal to be. So that is my idea. I hope that makes sense. So this is a side view, if you will. And then within this, I'm going to work in a signature. So in a signature there, and then there's space for a signature, etc. So each fold, which you would call a mountain, has the ability to then take a signature. I'm not going to make as many as I've drawn here, just for time's sake, but the idea being that this can expand and expand and expand. And then you put something like a nice ribbon or a rope or something around it. And then when you tie it off, that is expandable. So I will personally add something to the back, because I wouldn't like this accordion to be my spine. But again, for today's purpose, we're only going to do the accordion fold or concertina fold. You see, I meant to do it at A for accordion, and then I meant to do it at C for concertina, and now we're already on E, so now I'm calling it a ever-expanding journal. So, all right, I hope that, I know that explanation made sense. I don't like it when people say, I hope that made sense. All right, so for my front and back cover, I've just got 2 pieces of cardstock, which is handmade paper. All right, and I'm going to put that to one side. I did measure it, but for the sake of you guys, I shall measure it again. Right, so this one is, what's that, 10 inches? No, is that inches or centimeters? No, sorry, people. We don't work in inches here. We work in centimeters. That's just short of 4 inches. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that 4 or 5? Right, so it's 5 and then 6 lines. So is that 5.6 inches? Apologies, we don't work in inches. I have no idea how they work. Right, in centimeters, we are talking about 10.2 centimeters by, I don't know why I keep turning the paper around, by 14.4. All right. This I'm going to make slightly shorter than the cover, so I think I'm going to work on around 14. I did pre-cut this to 14 centimeters in width, so it's just, I'd say, a 1/4 inch shorter than my cover. The size doesn't matter here. Do it in whatever size you would like the journal to be. One of my challenges in recording is my dogs start barking at any given time, and they having mock fights, etc. But I believe that as crafters, a lot of us have animals, and it's just the challenges of my situation. But I'd rather share than not share, if that is okay with you guys. All right. So first thing is I'm going to give this a score, and then start to fold the accordion. I'm going to use the 1 inch just because I want to make it as short as possible so that the project can be done within the allocated time. All right. So I'm going to give it a 1 inch score. You can make it a smaller score if you so wish. Sorry, I can't see that in the light. I'm wondering if I can bring more light to the subject. Right, I'm going to just do it this way around. See, many challenges here. There's 2. All right, so let's score it on 2. Then on 3. Let's score it on 3. And on 4. Sorry that I'm working upside down, guys. This is just the way that I have light at the moment. We are in South Africa and we do not always have electricity. I specifically don't have any electricity. So electricity is a challenge, yeah. Right, I'm just going to put that in the 1 inch fold so that I can continue to the end. All right, so that's on 2 inch and then on the 3 inch mark and then on the 4 inch mark and then on the 5 inch mark. Right, there's going to be a little bit extra there, but I don't actually mind that. I moved it. Okay, sorry, let's get this done before I should talk less and score more. All right. Let's put that to one side. All right, I'm gonna paste the last one to whatever when I add expansion. So when I add more accordions. So the idea here is that I can glue that on top when I add the expansion. So I don't care that it's not exactly that measurement doesn't exactly work out. All right. So now I'm just folding the accordion, the harmonica. If she watches this, she's going to have a good laugh as well. I hope. All right. So just giving that a good fold, and then that very last one. All right, so let's give it a good score. Right, guys, I'm not a precision crafter, so this is not about precision. It's really about sharing the idea. Okay. Right, so we've got that, and now for the front and back cover, I need at least that, at least one fold to connect it to the front and back cover. So I'm actually thinking maybe I shall cut off one fold and then just use the two in the middle as my example for you guys. Right, let me just think for a moment if that would work. I do believe it would. Okay. Right, so I'm going to just cut that. I'm wondering if this screen is too close, the camera is too close to my table. If it is, please, please, please help me by giving me the correct information. Criticize this and tell me if it's too close. I'd rather try to make videos that are usable and, you know, close enough or far enough away than trying to just, you know, continuously do the same thing and then it's going to be wrong. So please, if this is too close, then please let me know. So for my next video, I can adjust how close or far it is from the screen. Right, so now I've got two of these. All right, and I'm going to attach that to my front and to my back. I'm not sure yet which way around. Let's just find out which one is my front. I think I will make that my front. It could be either way. I'll calculate that in a moment. And that's my back. And then let's see how this works out. All right, so if I do it that way, then that will stick in there. And then that will stick in there. Yeah, all right. And then we're going to cut that small bit off, actually. That's going to be a hindrance. All right, so cutting that small bit off. All right. Okay, so now I'm going to just stick this on the front cover. In the middle, you can see it's slightly shorter than the actual card. So leaving a slight thing open there. Just I've forgotten how awkward it is to record. You have to make that everybody can see everything. All right, let's do the other one. In actual fact, the very first one you could have left on the thing. You could have just stuck it on. You don't actually need a separate one to put it on. All right, I'm fine with that. Let's glue that. again in the middle. Okay, there we go. Right, now this one, the back cover, I'm just going to roughly divide into 3. I think you can get away with less than 3 in the versus the size of this journal, but I think my actual plan is to make a big journal with this method, and I think you would need at least 3 or 4 to do this. All right, so we've got 14 centimeters, which is roughly, oh, actually, hold on. Let's just go in from the side at least, let's say, 2 centimeters, and at least 2 centimeters. That's just short of an inch, guys. 2.2 centimeters is an inch. All right, and then the middle of those two. So that's just over 10, so I'm going to make the middle in 5. Right. Now I don't know if I will be able to make a hole there. Let's see. Right. So now I should have probably done this beforehand. No. Helps to think things through. If not, I'll just try to make a hole with, let's see if I can do it this way. Can I see there? Okay. And now let's just measure this again, or see how we're going to fit this in again. So if we stick that on there and stick that on there, okay, that's good. Let's just measure where these holes are. Oh, sorry. There. Okay. So I'm going to try our best to make them correspond. I'm not sure how to. Okay, that's close enough. It's just all right. There, that one might be off. Right, so now the idea is we will, what are we going to do? We're going to stick that on. Oh, this is only going to give me one signature, so obviously because I've cut it off. Or we stick it on there. That gives me one signature. And then that fits in there. Yeah, okay. All right. I will be doing this at the end actually, but I'll show you the idea. Then if I don't get to the end or my light goes off or something, that you do understand the idea. So basically, you put that through there, open it up, another one. Sorry, they're just funny if I want to open them, so I'm just making sure they open beforehand. All right, and then the third one, you see there I have a slight problem. They're not in the same place. So there. Okay. So you get the idea. right? And then let's just see if this is gonna work now. It worked in my head, people. All right, let's see. That's the front, yep. See, none of these videos goes as easy as these other people tried to make it look. Right, so there we go. Right, so I will have place for 2 signatures. One there and one there. All right, so that first one I'm just gonna stick on. Actually, what I think I'm gonna do that at the end to give myself more maneuverability to sew in the signatures here. But then the idea is at the end, then you stick those two together. Let me show you from above. You stick those two together, all right? That will then give you that as a journal. And you can put a signature in there, and you can put a signature in there. And then when you wish to expand the journal, you loosen these, all right? You take them out. You, with glue, attach the new, why is this now stuck? With glue, you attach new ones to the next accordion fold, and you can expand this journal forever and ever and ever. So I'm wanting to build an inspiration book or an ideas book journal, and the problem is everybody that I've seen that has done it runs out of space eventually, and I would like to. I don't know if you can go on forever and ever, but you can go on for a long time by using this method because the journal can keep expanding. All right, so leaving that out for a moment, I'm going to put that to one side, and then we're going to try to get some signatures in here. All right, I haven't prepared this part, so I'm just going to look for some paper that we can put in the journal. These are all my pink colored papers. Right, that one's nice. That one has roses. We can use that. That one's just normal. That one has a dove that actually needs to go in a bigger form. That one has a bit of a pattern. That one has roses. Okay, let's see how many we've got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they will probably be half of that if I think size-wise. All right, so let me just tidy this up again. Sorry, where's my clip that I had it on? I put it on this clip, and then I hang it up. So I've got all my one colored paper together on a clip, and each clip has a different color. And I'm making it sound like I'm really organized. My extension of colors that I have right now is pink. I still have to do the coloring of the other ones. I've been trying for a while to start preparing for recording again, but the truth is you're never going to be completely ready, so right, I'm going to use this one as a measurement. I think let's just see if I do that, how big are they? I think that could work. I'm just gonna, actually I'm not gonna clean off because it caught a little bit of the dye color on yeah, so I actually think I'm gonna leave that. All right, and we might get 2 from here. All right, so let's fold this and fold that. All right, and then let's just see where we get to if we do this. It's just too long. All right, so let's measure it on the accordion fold. All right, there. And then if we fold it there and fold it back on itself, then we are there. All right, and that ends there. All right. I'll just do them one by one because I sometimes struggle with accuracy. So I'm going to try and do it this way. If I'm out of screen, you guys can just shout and I'll try to get on the screen again. Yeah, I know. Right, this one I'm just going to cut off a very small sliver instead of cutting it by hand. Let's see if that worked. It did indeed work. All right, so we're going to do 2 signatures. So there's 1 signature, 2 signatures. All right. And then this one, well, let's take a copy paper one first. How did we do that now? Confused myself already. All right, this way. Maybe I should just remove some of these things from the screen to make it easier. Otherwise, it just looks over cluttered. All right, I'm going to leave those 2 on the screen because those are my pages. That's my measurement tool. I'm going to leave the other one just out of the screen for a moment. All right, and let's see if we can work here. All right, so see, when you fold these things, you usually kind of put your head over it. Let me turn it around so I can actually see what I'm doing. There we go. I made a mess of that fold there. Okay. Let's use that as a measurement. Actually, let's stay true to the same measurement. I'm just going to use that. Fold it right there. It's not as easy to start recording again, but I do believe that I have some things to add to our wonderful community, and I do believe that I have some ideas that I believe that when you have an idea and you put it out there, then somebody else can take that idea and then they build on that again. And that brings up a new idea. And then another person takes that idea and they build on that again. And that's the way we expand and expand and expand to do new things, ever new things in this hobby. And I love this hobby. It's an awesome, awesome, awesome hobby. It's really a wonderful way of bring a lot of crafts together. Alright, so just as a look-see, it's not quite, I don't know if you can see that, but I'm not, like I said in the beginning, I'm not a precision crafter. I'm quite happy with that. Alright, that one is closer to correct. Alright, so now we've got two. We'll do some more of these. Right, let's do that. I haven't learned to edit yet, guys, so I saw another crafter the other day that only makes lives. I think actually that's my way to go. If I only make lives, then I don't need to learn to edit, then it looks legit. It will be a shortcut and a cheat, but it would very much work for my situation. The only thing with doing it live is you all the errors is on camera too. And I've actually thought of branding myself as I'm the crafter that will show you the errors as well, because it's true. You can even go look on my old videos. Even when I finish a project, I usually do, okay, what would I have done differently at the end of the project? Because truly, it's not as easy as the other YouTube channels make it seem, and it's definitely not as fast as they make it seem. It takes a lot longer than what it looks on that 1 hour video that they put out. Right, it never takes the amount of time that they say it does, or what they leave the opinion that it does. A lot of respect to all creators on YouTube. I tell you guys, it's quite a commitment, and I experienced that a few years ago before COVID, and yeah, my situation changed, and then I stopped recording, but I'll explain that in a different video. I don't want to make this video for the ABC April about my comeback. Right. I think for the purpose of this is my last one. I'm not going to do all 6 because I feel like I'm taking up a lot of time now. And I do want to get to the actual binding. I bind slightly different than other people. There are some old videos on my channel that you can go and check out, where I literally go through the binding step by step, but I do think that is part of the videos that I never finished before I disappeared. But I'm happy to be back. Life happens. Instead of apologizing, or I do apologize for just disappearing. And especially with COVID in between, I'm sure that a lot of people weren't aware of where I was. So I'm okay. I'm good. Happy to be back. Hope you guys can forgive me. See, I keep reverting back to making this video as if it's my comeback video, and it's not. Alright. So this folder's not working for me. Alright. We shall do our best. Okay, bring back that. Guys, I can already see that I'm making errors and I'm out of screen and things like that, and I do apologize, but I do believe I mean, this is not a video making channel. It's not about how professional I am at making videos. It's a paper crafting channel, and it's about sharing a junk journal idea or a journal making idea right now. It's not about how good I am at setting up my camera equipment, etc. Because I tell you, there's challenges. I've got the ring light on a power bank, but if that dies, then it's quite dark in here. So I'm gonna get as far as I can. I've sort of put a time limit of about an hour on there for myself. I actually don't know. Oh, I'm already on 35 minutes. I don't know how far I shall get with binding this. Right, we're gonna try. We shall try. All right, okay. These are my two signatures. All right. Now I would like to make a little guideline of where to bind. All right. Make a note. Top, bottom. All right. And then I'm going to measure. Actually, I'm going to use the inch side because it's an easy measurement to get a good distance. Right, so I'm just going to take 1 inch, and that's 5.5, and I'm going to go down to 4.5. All right, then I'm going to take that distance, which is 3.5, not dividable by 2. I think I'll put in 4 holes at least. Right. So I'm going to put, so I'm now measuring from the 2 dots that I've already measured an inch in. I have around 9 centimeters. So I'm going to do 2.5. Well, let's find middle first. So that's 4.5 is the middle. And then the half of 4.5 is 2.2, 2.3 there. Half between, okay, let's just do it again this way. 2.3-ish. Okay, that's the places I want to make holes in the, I didn't bring a hole maker. I can use this. Okay, got something. All right. Okay, top, bottom. I'm just going to put a clip in it. I just have to check if this was one of the signatures. Hold on a moment before I confuse the issue. Right, so that's the journal. That's the back. Yeah. No, 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 no. That's the back. That's the front. So I'm gluing it like that. And then that's a signature. All right. All right. Let's go there. Here's my pen. There. Right. So that's a signature. Oh, a hole, 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 hole. And then hole, 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 hole. There we go. Actually, I'm going to do the first one. It's going to be the easiest, and then put the journal together for the purpose of the video if I can finish it on time. I should have put the signature in before making the hole spaces, shouldn't I? That wasn't clever. Alright. Just want this front one to sort of go more towards the middle-ish. Okay, there we go. Okay, doing it again. Would help if I open the pen. Alright. Alright, now I need flaps. Another one. Okay, I'm going to use that to make a hole. I don't want to make this tutorial about my binding method. That's not the idea, yeah? But the reason that I bind like this is I believe that, especially sometimes if you've got shorter pages and things that you, and doilies and things that you put into the journal, I don't like it when they fall out once the journal is built. All right, so I'm just using 1, 2. That's what I need for the binding, 2. So one's up, one's down, and then I'm just giving myself an extra one as a extra method. I wanted to use the thicker waxed thread, but I did a little bit of a binding earlier this week of some small journals, and this was actually too thick. So I'm just going to use normal sewing cotton for this. Right, let's see. We can get that through there. Right. Now with this method you can literally start anywhere. You'll just get back to the same hole that way. This is the back. So this is the bottom. So I'm going to start at the bottom. So I'm just going in. In. Out. In. Out. Right, now I need to keep thread of this. Actually, I'm just going to put that on I usually put it on a paper clip, but for right now I'm just going to put it on a binder clip. Does it hold it? Let me just see. I don't know if it holds it. Nope, not really. No. Okay, let's just do that. All right, and pulling that through, making sure I've got a double thread here, so I'm just pulling through so the doubleness, the double part threads back. Okay, and now I'm just literally going through the same holes again. Front. This is just the more secure binding to me. That's all. That's the only reason I use this. I like it when you've bound something that it stays that way and that it doesn't fall apart in some point in the future. Right. It's also relatively easy to keep it, quite stiff, so you don't have as much pulling, etc. afterwards. All right. So just binding that and okay, now just putting my finger on the first one and then slowly get that right. There we go, and then I'm just going to give it an extra 1 or 2 knots to secure it. Okay, for right now I'm just going to trim it off like that. I like to sometimes put little butterflies or things. I always make sure that it hangs out, so I don't want the butterflies in here. But then I like to put little butterflies on here both sides, like a little button or a charm or a bead or a something that sometimes makes it looks nice. Okay. All right. So for the purpose of this video, I'm only going to do this one, but now you will do the exact same thing there. So you would put that signature in there. Right. I'm planning on recording for about an hour. If I have more time left afterwards, then I shall proceed to that. All right. So now I'm going to put the front cover on. All right. So basically, I'm just going to glue that fold to that fold. Okay. I think it might be in a bit inhibited. Let's just see, because then I will fold it to the outside. Let's just see if I do that, what that looks like. Okay, I'm fine with that. Otherwise, if it was a problem, I would have just glued it that way around. But it's not a problem. I'm going to glue it this way around. All right, so I'm just going to put that in the correct spot. Sorry guys, I'm going to do it this way so I can see what's going on. In the correct spot. And I'm going to add weight glue here. Sorry if my hand is in the way. I'm not going to go up to the complete edge there, because I don't want the glue seeping into my signatures. Okay, so yeah, you can see that. All right, I'll try to move that so the light doesn't. Right, so just lining that up and gluing that in. Where's my little spatula thingy? All right. Okay, so for all intents and purposes, this is a journal. An ever-expanding journal. All right, so I'm making a mess this side. I just want to... Okay, that's stuck in. All right, so there you have the journal, pages. All right, and then here you can add another one, and then when you decide to expand, you fold another harmonica 7 plaza and then you use that harmonica, you stick it to this flap, and the very last page gets 3 holes again, and you attach that to your back cover, and you can keep expanding this. All right, so now I thought I would use something like this as a closure. I'm not going to do this now because I would prefer to sew in, finish sewing in, etc. But when you're done, you attach You can decide if you want to attach it to the front or to the back. All right. But basically, you need to allow space here for growth. So I would do something like maybe a little loop, something like this, a smaller one, obviously. I would put that through here. All right. And then stick that loop. You can even make more than one there and one there, smaller, just big enough for that to go through. And put that there, stick it on, but then this can still, move. And then at the back, actually attach it, actually stick it on there, like attach it. All right. And then this will be attached. This one will be expandable. And as your journal grows, you will be able to, still tie it off. So that is what I would do. All right. I'm not going to do that before I've actually sewn in the other signature. In future, if I add signatures to this, I would also rather do the accordion fold. And then once the accordion fold is done, take the signature and work it into the accordion fold. All right. Sew it in already, and then attach the accordion into the journal. I think that would be a lot easier. All right, so we're on around 51 minutes. So I'm just going to do the other one, sew the other signature in if we've got enough time. And now I don't know where I've put the needle. That's me, people. That's what I do. Oh, got the needle. All right, now I just need to find the thread. This is what I do. Can't find the thread. Laray. Why do I do that to myself? Okay. Yeah, got it. Sorry. I was gonna close the video because I can't find the thread. All right. Let's just see. We've got 1, 2, 3. Okay. And here's the needle. Guys, I was nervous to make this and I'm still not sure. I'm going to post it because I do want to partake in the community and I do want to, just be a part of things. But still, it's a little bit, I'm a little bit uncertain. So if you found this helpful and if you found it interesting, I would really like a comment or just a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, I would even like a thumbs down. The algorithm rewards any participation. So even if you want to make an insult or a negative comment or whatever, or a chops down, it's still good. I'm still happy with that. It's still participation. And if I could ask if there's anybody interested in what I do and my teaching style, I'd be very interested I'd be very happy if you could press subscribe. And look out for future videos from me. I'm a crafter from South Africa. There's not many of us, or there's not many of us with YouTube channels. If there is others, please let me know that you're in South Africa. I'd love to get things going like, I don't know, Happy Mail and things like that between South African junk journal is, and that would be really cool. Right, let's just see. Ugh, I shouldn't have moved that. I should not have moved that. Let's see. Just figure out where's top and bottom again. Yeah. Alright, starting at the bottom. Alright. Let's go there. In. Oh, that's rather out. This is in. Out. Oops. Don't want to pull that out. Right. Yeah, that one's not in the right place. Here we go. In. Out. In. Just moving back on myself now. That all is funny. There we go. Okay, this is the only one that you really sort of pull tight. The one where you loop over yourself. The others are kind of automatically tight by just sewing in a normal fashion. And you will always end up at the same hole where you started. It always works like that. The other nice thing about this is it lies flat, because that expansion can fold flat, you know. So the journal is a flat lying journal. Right. Let's tie that off. I've left myself a very short little tail there, and I have a very long one on the other side. I should have thought of that. You see, that's what I mean with my crafting doesn't go like it does on the videos. I want to put something heavy there. That won't work. Something. Let's do that. I don't know if that's enough. Right, let's grab this tail. I really left myself a short tail there. Let's see if I can fix it there. Right. Okay, I've got it through, but it wants to close now much higher than I want it to. Sorry guys, just look away for a moment while I fix this. This is the part that's not supposed to be on camera. You just tie it off, people. It's easy. It's just easy. And it works every time. Every time you watch a video, it works. My world doesn't work like that. But on YouTube, it works like that every time. All right, there we go. There's the journal. All right, I would trim that off. Let's see. Oh, we're on 58 minutes. We can do a trim. Let's do a trim, because we are actually in time. We've got another minute to go. It's just a self-imposed limitation I've put on, because when you go, I used to remember when you went over an hour, you truly struggled with the uploading. I don't know if that is still the case, but it became really difficult when you uploaded a video longer than an hour. It would take like 4 hours to upload. I don't know if that will still be. I think I made a mistake here at the bottom. I'm not cutting straight. Let's just stay close to the ruler. There we go. Okay, but you get the idea. Right, so again, if you haven't yet, it's compulsory to press subscribe. So Please press subscribe. And thank you for Crafting with Tony and Seven Plaza for putting this hashtag out there and allowing all of us to partake. That is what it's all about. It's about community. It's about partaking. It's about learning from each other. It's part of what makes this junk journal community such a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful community. I love this community. I love this craft. And you keep learning, and it really, truly doesn't get boring. I'm one of those people that easily bores of a certain craft. I haven't bored of this, and I've been doing this for about 8 years already. And I still make mistakes. So please don't think that if you've been doing it for 8 years, I like to do a different challenge to myself every time. So basically it's new every time. Right, I don't know if this is straight. It's the best we're going to do for this video right now. Okay, so there we go. Let's see what it looks like. There we go. There's our journal. Front, accordion spine, open, page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, end of that signature, and then 8 again, and the back. Thank you very much, people. I would love it if you could interact with the video. That would be wonderful. I'm just going to leave this on the screen for the what would make a nice screenshot for the thumbnail. I don't know. That looks, shall we do it that way? There's the thumbnail. If you leave that on the screen, then sometimes, well, that's how it used to be like 5 years ago. Then YouTube will select that as the thumbnail for the screen. I shall put a torch on this side. No, that won't work. Trying to make a plan to get a better thumbnail. I shall make it sound like I like contrast. See, this is dark versus light. Have a nice day, everybody. And happy crafting.